Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar. Lots of people joining in. We have a ton of people here on the call today. Some exciting stuff that we have going on today, which I am super excited to talk about. All right. So, yeah, I think we can go ahead and get started. I'm going to share a quick agenda slide with everybody so you guys can kind of see what we're going to talk about today. We can talk a little bit about that, and then we'll get into everything. So this looks like the wrong slide for a second, but we're just going to switch it over to the agenda. Here is our agenda for today. We're going to do some introductions here in a moment. We have Scott is going to do a really cool demonstration for us and talk to us all about the new ScanSnap iX2500. We're going to show you how the ScanSnap scanner connects with Neat and what you can do with your files once they're sent to Neat. So with that, prefacing that, I'm going to pass it over to Scott real quick. Scott, would you mind just talking about yourself a little bit and, why you're a ScanSnap expert?
You got it. Well, thanks, Nicole. Hello, everyone. I'm Scott Francis. I'm the tech evangelist for all of our Ricoh scanners here in the U.S. It was great to be on last year's webcast, and it's great to be with the Neat community. So as I explained last year, I've been with Fujitsu for the first 22 years of my career. We launched ScanSnap in 2022. Actually 2002, and it's been a great ride. In 2022, we joined Ricoh, and that's why the logo on your ScanSnap scanners has changed from Fujitsu to Ricoh. But it's the same great team. It's the same great engineers, the same factories, the same product team here in the US. And I've used ScanSnap. We're going on 8 generations of technology. Today, we're going to talk about the new iX2500 and all of the different ways you can use it with Neat. So I love ScanSnap. I love Neat. I've used it for years, and I'm really looking forward to today's discussion.
Scott, thank you so much for introducing yourself. For those of you who are here from Neat, it's great to meet Scott. It's cool that this is our second webinar together, Scott. I thought last year's was a lot of fun as well. This one was a lot of fun to plan. Me and Scott were able to meet and talk about some new things this year that we're excited to share with you all today. For those of you who aren't familiar with me, my name is Nicole, and I'm the Director of Customer Success here at the Neat Company. I have worked at the Neat Company since 2014, so about 11 years now. When I started at Neat, I started in the call center as a technical support agent where I was answering calls and chats and emails and really just helping Neat users understand the product and also address any issues that they had with the product. So I really enjoy and try to use that hands-on experience to empower users through our little webinar series to make the most out of our Neat tools and just to to build some organization best practices as well. With me today, I also have George, Tia, and Melissa. They are all customer success leads here at the Neat Company. You can join us usually monthly for a brand new webinar topic. The topics range from, organization best practices to prepping for tax time to just where we are with the product, what new features or enhancements or things have we recently released or have planned in the future. They are here. George, T, and Melissa are here. So is Chase from Ricoh. They're active in chat right now. So if you guys have questions as we're going through today's webinar, please feel free to post those questions in the chat box and someone will get you an answer as soon as possible. So we're really excited to talk about this, Neat plus ScanSnap integration. I think, it's a pretty good introduction of both of us, Scott. So I think at this point, I will pass it over to you so we can kick off this webinar and start talking about this stuff.
All right. Well, thanks, Nicole. Well, let's jump in. We've got some exciting news to share. We have a new ScanSnap model. As I mentioned earlier, our first ScanSnaps entered the market in 2002. And for the first 18 years of my career, I was on the product team. So I was part of the team that launched all of our ScanSnaps. Now I get to talk about them as our tech evangelist. But Nicole, let's advance the slide. And they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. I think a video is even better. You know, over the last 23 years, we've sold over 7 million ScanSnaps, and it's due to you, our customers, have really ensured our success. And we really enjoy hearing from you about what you need. And we try to make every new product even better than the last one. And I think we've done it with the iX2500. Let's jump into a quick video and you can see what it's all about.
Treat yourself to a better scanning experience with the ScanSnap iX2500. Scan documents, photos, receipts, and plastic cards. The responsive, seamless touchscreen feels like your smartphone. The high-capacity document feeder holds up to 100 sheets, and it scans at an incredible 45 pages per minute. There's no need to adjust drivers or settings. ScanSnap Home makes scanning effortless. It sorts, cleans up, and names files automatically. You can even make them searchable. Save scans to your computer, phone, and favorite cloud services. Quick Menu lets you simply scan, drag, and drop to any app. All this in a sleek package that looks great in your home or office. Get the scanner that does it all. The ScanSnap iX2500.
Let's learn more about the new iX2500. All right, we'll go to the next feature. So before we jump into this slide, Nicole, can we do our first poll question and ask our users how many of you out there are using ScanSnap?
Absolutely. So everyone, you're going to see a poll pop up to your right in a moment here. And this poll is just going to ask you, are you currently using a ScanSnap scanner? There's a couple options there. We have, yes, you're using the new iX2500. Let us know if you if you are already. We have some other ScanSnap models on there, like the iX1600. Let us know if you're using another ScanSnap model, if you're using another manufacturer scanner, or maybe you're not using a scanner at all. Maybe you are doing mobile capture with a mobile phone or a mobile application.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing those results. Thanks, everyone, for your input. Well, if you've got ScanSnap, then I think you understand the benefit. But if you're not using ScanSnap, especially if you're not using one of our products at all, I thought about the title of this slide. The new scanner, the iX2500, really can make a big difference in not just your work, but your life as well. You know, what is the value of adding a half hour to your day? You know, the cost of time is huge. And ScanSnap really solves those problems. First, it's small and easy to reach. But again, everyone on this webcast understands that. But maybe you're watching this webcast on replay and you're trying to learn what ScanSnap and Neat are all about. The products combined are going to make your life better because you can reduce all of that clutter. You can organize. You can see your information wherever you are. And that benefit is huge. If you're using ScanSnap and Neat as part of a small business, you're going to have much better customer service. If you get audited, you're going to be able to find your receipts in real time. You're not going to have to spend weeks preparing for an audit, responding to your bookkeeper when you're filing your taxes. ScanSnap and Neat combined just make things better. Access your information wherever you are. Secure your information. That's what it's all about. Scanning can be tedious, but with ScanSnap, it really is scanning in a snap, and it's magic. It's a great solution. And again, the integration between ScanSnap and Neat is great. It saves you time, and we're looking forward to talking more about that today. Nicole, let's go to the next slide. So the new iX2500, let's talk about what's new with the iX2500. So faster speeds. Our new model clocks in at 45 pages per minute, as you may have noticed in the video. That's an improvement from the last model, the iX1600, which was 40 pages per minute. And we're also lightning fast at higher resolutions, which is great when we're scanning into Neat. We have a larger automatic document feeder. In fact, it's twice as big. We've gone from 50 pages all the way up to 100 pages. One of the great ways to use ScanSnap is to get rid of all of your paper storage. When you're scanning boxes full of documents, that 100-page ADF is going to enable you to scan much faster. See a question come in through the chat about continuous scan mode. We do support that. So with ScanSnap, you can essentially scan a batch of documents and keep that PDF file open while you continue to load additional batches of documents. You can just contact us and we'll walk you right through that setting. It's right on the control panel. The new model has an enhanced touchscreen display. We've gone from 4.3 inches all the way up to 5, and it makes a big difference. That large is really responsive and bright, and you'll see it in the video. I'll flip left and right just like a cell phone. It's highly responsive. One of the reasons it's highly responsive is we have a whole new chip that we've designed as part of the iX2500. So new chip technology, it's faster, it enables faster image processing on ScanSnap, it enables that touchscreen display to go really fast. Another huge move we've made is Bluetooth setup. So we want to make it easy to set up the iX2500. So we can use Bluetooth to identify your computer, your tablet, or your phone. We can't use Bluetooth to actually transmit scan data because that technology just isn't large enough. The pipe is not large enough for all of the scan data, but we do use Wi-Fi for that. But Bluetooth is a great way to identify the device to make sure setup is fast and easy. And of course, we've got Wi-Fi connectivity, both 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, and we've got USB-C. So the new model has all of this and more. It's a great improvement over the last model. The last model was great, but the iX2500 is even better. Let's go to the next slide. And we've also updated our ScanSnap Home for PC, that's for Windows and Mac, as well as our ScanSnap Home for mobile, which is for iOS, both phones and tablets, and Android as well. So if you're using one of our current ScanSnap models, you can upgrade to the latest version of ScanSnap Home. If you're using an iX1500, an iX1600, an iX1300, iX100, or iX1400, you can upgrade to the latest version of our software for all of those models. In fact, on the next slide, you'll see our new quick menu, which has been updated. It looks great. You can see I've got it featuring a Neat application, so it's smart. It detects which applications you're using with ScanSnap, and it integrates them into the quick menu automatically. So this is a great way. The quick menu is effective if you want to scan your documents and then decide where you're going to send them. You're scanning receipts, you want to send those to Neat. You're scanning a document, you want to send an email, you can do that as well. How about scanning photographs? The iX2500 is excellent at scanning photographs. We've got a lot of photo image enhancement capabilities. So that's another great way to digitize all of your memories, access them on a digital picture frame, upload them to the web, view them on your phone, wherever you need those photos. All right, let's go to the next slide. Exception document scanning. So sometimes you're going to get a double letter document. You don't have to walk over to your copy machine to put it on the flatbed. You can actually fold it in half and go to our manual feed mode and make the selection to scan that oversized document and stitch it back together. Or if you need to scan envelopes, how about long receipts? You can do that as well. I know that question came up during last year's webcast. We support long receipt scanning as well. You just have to go to the control panel. I'm looking at my unit right now, and just click on normal scan, and that will bring up the menu. And from there, you can click on manual scan, and you can scan that long document. So if you've got those receipts, no problem. Maybe you went to Costco Maybe you got carried away, or maybe you just had a lot of shopping to do. No problem. We've got you covered. All right, let's go to the next slide. And we've got an innovative way to use ScanSnap and Neat as well. We call this deviceless scanning. You'll see this in the video coming up, but essentially you're going to connect ScanSnap wirelessly to your router. And from there, you can walk up to ScanSnap without even opening your phone or your computer or your tablet, and you can initiate a scan over to Neat through our ScanSnap Cloud service. ScanSnap Cloud is included with the price of your scanner. There's no additional charge. There's no monthly fee. This allows you to quickly walk over, scan that receipt, send it over to Neat. Processing will start automatically. And then when you get a chance, you can open Neat on the browser or the desktop, and you can do the processing from that point in terms of confirming. All right, I'm back. I think I saw a connection issue. I was talking about ScanSnap Cloud and deviceless scanning. You can use this in addition to our other connection methods. So if you're doing receipt scanning, let's go and scan those right to the desktop application. Or if you're doing ad hoc receipts, just open your scanner and use the cloud connection. And we'll go over that today. All right, let's go to the next slide. And the iX2500 is part of the ScanSnap family. So we've got different models. The iX2500 is our flagship product. It's got the wireless connectivity. It's got that scan to cloud connectivity. We also have the iX1400, which is our ScanSnap Classic, the iX1300, which is a smaller footprint, the iX100, which is mobile, and how about the SV600? If you're doing book capture bound documents, we've got a solution for you as well. Whichever way you go, you're going to get that great image processing and intelligence. It truly is scanning in a snap, and they all work with Neat. All right, I think coming up, we've got a video. So let's see the iX2500 in action. You'll see on the video, we're going to feature a couple of the integration methods. For today's scanning demonstration, we have both the white and black versions of the iX2500. We've configured each model to scan to Neat using different connection methods. The iX2500 on the right will scan directly to Neat using ScanSnap Cloud. This is great for ad hoc receipt scanning because you don't have to turn on your computer or device. Just open the cover, place your receipts, select the profile, and press the scan button. To get started, we'll open the cover and the scanner will turn on quickly. You can see the large 5-inch touchscreen display and independent scan button. You may notice that the receipt guide is attached. It will center receipts while still allowing you to scan letter or legal-sized documents. Here are 2 receipts that will scan to Neat. I will intentionally scan one of the receipts upside down and backwards to demonstrate how ScanSnap's intelligent image processing makes it easy to get great images and superior results with Neat. The receipts were quickly scanned to ScanSnap Cloud for additional image processing. This service is included with your iX2500 at no additional cost. From there, the images are then sent directly to the Neat Cloud where the receipt recognition process will automatically begin. On the left, we'll scan receipts to the Neat desktop application using the integration for ScanSnap Home. This is available for both Windows and Mac. Instead of using the receipt guide, I'll just use the self-centering feed tray, sliding the page guides to match the receipt's width. You can see how fast and responsive the touchscreen display is. It's easy to select the profile you want to use. The iX2500 quickly scans the receipts, and through the integration, they are transferred directly to the Neat desktop application for processing. But wait, one of my coworkers needs a document scanned to PDF. No problem. I'll just select the scan to folder profile and quickly process that document as well. I'll open up the self-centering feed tray,
Load the batch of documents and press the scan button. The iX2500 quickly starts scanning the batch with fast 45 page per minute scanning speed. The scanning has been completed, and now ScanSnap is ready for its next job. It's that easy.
Very cool, Scott. One of the things that I thought was really, really cool about some of the additions that you guys made this year was the ability to, or the introduction of Bluetooth for setup. I thought that was really cool because I set my iX2500 up on a Mac computer, and they have a different USB input than my PC does. So being able to switch over to like Bluetooth would allow me to work around that. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it's a big improvement. And I saw some of the comments in the chat about, if I've got a 1500, why should I go to the new iX2500? And Bluetooth is one of those reasons. If you want to set up your phone or tablet, you've got some ability to quickly do that through the Bluetooth identification. You can also use a USB cable with your computer, but you can't do that with your device. So setup is simply easier and faster, and that's one of the benefits.
Awesome. All right. So let's go ahead. And so Scott scanned a couple of files in there, and we're going to now pop into Neat and kind of see what happens with those files after you send those files over from Neat. So I'm actually going to share some slides now myself. Okay. So as Scott mentioned, there's actually several ways that you can use your ScanSnap scanner, especially the iX2500, to scan files to Neat. So the first option is being able to set up the ScanSnap plus Neat integration so that you can scan files directly to the Neat desktop application. And that supports both wireless scanning and wired scanning. So when I set mine up, I'm doing wireless scanning. I do still have a power cable that I have to connect to the wall, so it still needs to be plugged into an outlet. I did see some questions about that, so it does still need to be plugged into an outlet. But otherwise, after I set my scanner up, I disconnected the USB cable, and I'm able to scan with the scanner wirelessly to the Neat desktop application. Neat also ScanSnap also offers a couple other ways that you can use your scanner to scan files to Neat, and those include these three options here, option 2, 3, and 4. So the ScanSnap Cloud deviceless scanning allows you to scan files directly to the Neat cloud. Option number 3 gives you the ability to basically scan files into your ScanSnap home software if that's what you prefer for editing. And then you can drag and drop those files directly into our Neat desktop application or the Neat cloud. And then you can further, edit and categorize your files there. And then lastly, you can also scan files directly from your ScanSnap scanner to Neat using your personal and unique Neat cloud email in address. So each of you here, anybody who has a Neat account or a Neat cloud subscription, gets a unique email forwarding address that you can use to forward e-receipts and documents and receipts directly from the point of sale to your Neat account with instead of having to print it and then scan it, you can just send it directly there. So you can add that to the scanner and you can scan directly to the Neat cloud that way. So there's two options here. You can either scan with your ScanSnap scanner to the Neat desktop software, which I'm going to show you guys in a moment. I do have a demonstration for you. And then there's also the ability to skip the Neat desktop application and scan directly to the Neat cloud. The difference is if you want to scan to the Neat desktop application, there you're able to further edit your image. You can add data to your image about what type of file it is, what notes should be associated with the file, and choose the folder in your Neat database that you want the file to go to. That is the most popular way that I know Neat users currently use their ScanSnap scanner to scan to Neat. They will, connect it to the Neat desktop application because they like to be able to edit their images in our image editor. But there are all these options that you have available here. So, like I said, I went with option 1. So I set it up so that my ScanSnap scanner scans to my Neat desktop application software. And then I'm able to edit my images and then upload them to my Neat account and do whatever I need to, with my files within my actual Neat account. In order to set up or establish a connection between your ScanSnap scanner and Neat through the method that I went through, these are the steps that you would follow. Now, these are a lot of steps. It seems like a lot of steps. But we did actually put together a handout for you, which we're going to share with you at the end of this webinar. And this handout, not only does it include video instructions for how to go through steps 2 and 5, which are probably the more involved steps, but it includes, the individual steps for each one of these and any other details that you might need to know to establish your connection between your ScanSnap scanner and Neat. There are 2 tools that you need to install as well. You need to have both the Neat desktop application software installed and the ScanSnap Home software installed and configure both to connect with each other. It seems a little bit more complicated than it is. I actually, like I said, I just went through connecting my own ScanSnap scanner to Neat earlier, actually last week as in preparation for this webinar, and it was so quick and easy to do. Really ScanSnap, whenever you open a ScanSnap scanner, they give you this setup guide, which it takes you through steps 1 and 2, very simply and easy. It's very easy to follow, very easy to understand. One thing that I didn't want to mention, and this is mostly for Neat users who are already familiar with the product. If you're a Neat user and you're here, you are probably going to ask about whether or not the ScanSnap scanner appears in your scanner dropdown in the Neat desktop application. And I do want to clarify for you guys that it will not appear in your scanner dropdown. Instead, you're actually going to add Neat as a profile to your ScanSnap Home software instead of adding the ScanSnap Home scanner as a scanner to the Neat software. So you're still adding Neat to ScanSnap Home. It's just your ScanSnap scanner will not appear in the scanner dropdown. That doesn't limit your ability to edit images or anything like that. The ScanSnap Home software gives you the ability to change your scanning settings, like whether or not you want color mode or duplex scanning and things like that. All right, so I just wanted to clarify those things for you guys because I know a lot of our Neat users end up having questions about these types of things. But let's get into the demonstration now. Here we have the Neat desktop software. So when Scott showed us a demonstration of scanning files with the iX2500 scanner. When he scans those files are either going to end up here within my Neat scan utility within the Neat desktop application software, which is the method that I prefer to scan files to Neat. Or, like I said, there's other options that allow you to send your files directly into your Neat Cloud account. So I'm going over that first option now. So these are the files. Whenever I scan files from my scanner, they're going to show up here in my scan utility. And I'll actually do a quick scan for you guys. So all I have to do to scan with this iX2500 is click the screen here to wake it up because it goes to sleep if you're not using it. It takes just a moment to come back up, and then I can just click scan. And the ScanSnap scanner scanning, you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a ScanSnap Home window that opens. That window will remain open for a few moments as your files are sent into the Neat desktop application software, and we can see those files just scanned in here. So I can see this 2-page document that I just scanned. Now, I mentioned, I have the ScanSnap Home software installed on my computer, on my Mac. Like I said, I can't see the ScanSnap scanner here in my dropdown, but I am seeing Neat in my ScanSnap Home software. And I can also see that same icon on the scanner itself as well. So that's how you would know that you've connected Neat to your ScanSnap Home software successfully. But just like that, once it's connected, any files that I scan with it go right to my desktop application here. Here within the desktop application, in my scan utility window, I can go ahead and I can edit these images further. You know, I can crop them or rotate them, or I can zoom in. If I accidentally scanned in a multi-page document and I want to separate them, I can select this document and then choose separate here from the bottom instead. Let me save, and then I can separate, and I can separate them into 2 individual pages. If I by mistake scanned in files separately, I can do the reverse. I can select a whole bunch of files and I can combine them instead, all within the scan utility window before I even send those files to Neat. I also can add information to my files here. This is one of the reasons why Neat users prefer to send their files to the Neat desktop application software instead of directly to the Neat cloud, because they can also set the type of file that they're sending to Neat. They can also add notes proactively here instead of having to review the file later and adding their notes to their file later. So I can say, you know, here are my new scans, and I can save. So I can make a whole bunch of little changes and edits to the files before I'm done here. And then when I'm ready, I can go ahead and click save, and I can choose a folder within my Neat database that I want to save these files to. So I'm just going to save them to this new Neat ScanSnap folder that I created, and I'll click send. And then that'll just take a moment to send over to my Neat account. Once I've clicked save, we can see my file is sitting here processing in the Neat ScanSnap integration window, or folder here that I have created. And I can re-access that scan utility just by clicking the scan button up here and the X button to go back and view all of my files here in the grid. When you, here on the file manager side of Neat, whenever you save a file to Neat from your ScanSnap scanner directly to Neat Cloud or from the Neat desktop application, your files are always going to end up in your needs review filter. So here are some of the files that Scott sent over earlier, and here's the upload of the scan that I just did. You can kind of think of the needs review filter as like a digital inbox where you can quickly locate newly added documents for review and for filing. As a part of Neat best practices for organization, we definitely recommend that you log in monthly or weekly to review your files and categorize them. And you can kind of get in the habit of logging in and checking your needs review filter and looking through all of the files that are there and categorizing them. Neat helps you with this categorization process through our OCR processing and our smart categorization. So Neat offers optical character recognition, or OCR processing. So every file that you send to Neat is transformed so that every word on the document is transformed into a keyword searchable term, which will help you save time later when you're looking for something specific. I think my database here is over 800 files in it. So being able to do a keyword search for something specific is super helpful. So here in my needs review filter, and I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see this a little bit more. I can zoom in even a little bit here in my desktop app. And I'm also going to see here, come back to this in a second. So here in my needs review filter, we have some of the files that Scott uploaded earlier. And we can kind of see at a glance that Neat has already processed these documents through our OCR processor. And it even extracted a lot of key information for me, such as, the vendor, the amounts, the categories, and the dates. So let's open one of these and take a little bit of a closer look at it. So here's what the file looks like in my Neat account. Like I said, you can see Neat identified the vendor, the date, the payment type, the amount, the sales tax, and it even categorized this file for me correctly. Neat actually knows that whenever I upload a file with the vendor Stonewood Grill, that I prefer to apply the category meals and restaurants to the receipt. And that's because Neat learned what my preferences are through our smart categorization feature. Smart categorization is exactly that. Basically, the more you use Neat and the more you categorize files and different vendors and receipts, the smarter Neat gets, the more it learns what your category preferences are. And I wanted to demonstrate this for you guys real quick. I set up a quick demo here to show you. So here we have four sample receipts. I am going to change their name. So this is going to be my brand new vendor. Notice that when I just start typing here, I actually have a list of all of the vendors that are active across my database. So I could just pick one of these vendors, but I'm creating a brand new vendor right now by typing it in, just so I can demonstrate the smart categorization feature. So I have my brand new vendor, and I'm going to add a brand new category as well. We're just going to call it brand new category. And we'll click save. Now we're going to go to the next receipt in this list of 4. And I'm going to type in brand new vendor. And notice that it already immediately updated the category. As soon as I typed in brand new vendor, the category here updated. And that's because in that first instance, Neat learned that I prefer that category with this vendor. So I'm going to click save, and I'm just going to show you guys one more time. So here, again, we have the vendor, sample building, Neat building supply, and the category general retail selected. If I type in my brand new vendor, and now Neat knows this is a part of my list because I've added it twice to my database, Neat automatically updates the category to brand new category. So this is just going to make the file review process that much easier, because Neat is going to learn those expense categorization preferences for you and streamline that process for you as you review your files, and even update the categories if you choose to update a vendor. I am going to discard these changes. Going back into like one of the files here, so like this one that Scott uploaded earlier, you can also, besides the fact that you can add a category, you can also add all of these other categorizations to it, all these other different drop downs and things like that. So Neat will track these different lists that allow you to further tag and categorize files, which will make it easier to find files later and also report on that, that stuff later. Just checking in, making sure things are still moving smoothly. And lastly, I can also do notes as well. So I can add like notes to any file that I want. And these notes do also are also keyword searchable. So any of your notes are also keyword searchable. Earlier, I mentioned OCR, and we're talking about keyword search here. So I wanted to show you how that works real quick using Neat's text selection tool. So we have this little tool here called the text selection tool that actually allows you to highlight text directly on your image. You can't edit it, but you can highlight it, and you can also copy and paste it. So I can highlight all of this text and copy and paste it into my notes, for example, if I want to. But what this shows me is it shows me that Neat has transformed all of this text into keyword searchable text. So for example, if the only thing that I had for this receipt was this code here, SD107N03, I could type that into my search bar, and Neat should be able to find any files that match that particular code. So I'm just going to copy that, and we're just going to pop that into my search fields here and click search. And now we can see that Neat pulled up the receipt that we were just looking at. It did pull up 2 other reports, and that's because I have similar receipts with that, I guess, that keyword in them. But just like that, instead of searching through 877 files to find this particular thing, through keyword search, I'm able to just find this file directly. And you'll also notice that the SD107N03 doesn't appear anywhere else within the document. It only appears on the image. So Neat was only able to find this through the OCR process data on the image itself. That's pretty much what you're able to do with the ScanSnap plus Neat integration. That ScanSnap scanner will allow you to send all those files into Neat, and then you can organize them all here. Neat will help you build this well-organized and easy to manage database. Neat provides you with this very clear and consistent, file naming convention, which is absolutely necessary for, maintaining a well-organized database. And all of this also eliminates your paper clutter. And you can also access all of this not only from here, but also from a Neat mobile application. So you always have access to your data. And while we are focusing on the document management side of things today, Neat also offers other financial organization tools as well, like our accounts and transaction features that allow you to connect all of your different financial accounts, bank accounts, credit card accounts, loan accounts to Neat. You can streamline all of that data into one centralized location that you can also report on. And, you can use that data for expense reporting and tax preparation. You can also add and attach images to your transactions, effectively allowing you to reconcile your transactions with their physical or source document. So all of that is here as well. But we wanted to focus on the document management side of things today. That's how you can use the ScanSnap scanner to send things to Neat, and that is fantastic. Neat does offer some other ways that you can upload files to Neat, so I wanted to show you those real quick before we hop into our Q&A. Let's see. So just as a quick reminder here, Neat also allows you to upload files a couple other ways. You also have the Neat mobile application where you can just snap a picture with your phone and upload files that way. As I mentioned earlier, you can do email forwarding with a unique custom email address. You can import stuff directly to Neat. We have a tool called Print Neat, which allows you to forward files that you're attempting to print directly to Neat. And then we also support both Wi-Fi scanning, like with the ScanSnap iX2500, and hardwire scanning with this scanner as well, and other scanner models. Neat is compatible with most TWIN compliant scanners. So we have a list of TWIN compliant scanners on our website. You can certainly check that out. We also, if you still have an older Neat scanner, you can also scan with an older Neat scanner to the Neat desktop application. So that, those are all of the things that I really wanted to show you today with what happens after you scan files with your ScanSnap scanner to Neat. I think we're probably ready to move into our Q&A. I know that there have been a ton of questions that have popped up about ScanSnap scanners.
All right. So sorry, I lost my camera connection, but I've been following all of the comments. We also have toll-free support. It's 1-800-626-4686. When you call into our support department, you're going to talk to an agent that has a ScanSnap on their desk. We just do scanners, and we really pride ourselves on giving great customer service. So we can actually go through the different integration methods and choose the best one for your specific situation. As I showed in the demo, sometimes you have an ad hoc receipt. Our cloud scanning is perfect for that. Other times you might have a stack of receipts. The desktop application or scanning the email or importing files via drag and drop, those are all effective as well. So it just depends on what works best for you, and you may use multiple ways to scan receipts into Neat. There was a question earlier about if I've got an iX1500, why should I go to the new iX2500? Well, there are a lot of reasons. I mentioned Bluetooth connectivity, but there's a lot more. When we talk about speed, the new scanner is faster, but it's not just the scanning speed. It's the responsiveness of the touchscreen as well. It's got a better, newly designed chip, a chip that we've designed ourselves that really makes all of our operation much faster. We've got the ability to do image processing in hardware on the scanner itself, and that happens much more effectively with the iX2500. If you've used our products, you know that we continuously update features. So with the iX2500, you're going to get more features that will add over time that will increase your productivity as well. There was a separate question about that we shouldn't change our scanners. Well, we listen to you. So with the iX500, there were a lot of comments after we launched the iX1500 that you wanted that physical scan button back. Well, we've listened to you. With the iX2500, there's now a physical scan button, so you can essentially load documents. You can reach over without even looking at your ScanSnap, and you can initiate scanning. So that physical button makes a big difference. The 100% increase in our ADF capacity from 50 to 100 pages really is going to pay off in terms of those longer backfile conversion projects. So those are just some of the changes. And I think maybe the most obvious one you'll see when you get an iX2500 is that 5-inch touchscreen display. We've gone from 4.3 to 5. It's not just 0.7, it's a lot bigger. When you look at the diagonal width of that new screen, and it's bright, it pops, it's easy to use. So all of that new technology combines. So I would say with your old ScanSnaps, give them to a colleague, a family member, and buy the new model. It's going to save you time. It's going to make scanning even easier.
Scott and I also have some handouts to share with you guys. So I'm actually going to share one or two of those handouts with you now. Scott has sent over, is sharing right now the Ricoh product lineup. So if you're interested in learning about the different various ScanSnap scanners that are available, definitely download this handout right now. It'll give you a full list of the different products that are available. So there is that. And I have one other handout that I'm going to share with you now, and then one that I'm going to share with you later as well. So the ScanSnap iX2500, I'm sharing that user guide now. So if you have the iX2500 or you're interested in learning more specifically about the ScanSnap iX2500, go ahead and you can download that user guide now. I think that might be the same user guide I got with my iX2500, and it was very helpful during the setup process. There's your ScanSnap plus Neat Integration setup guide. So feel free to download that. That gives you the full steps for how to install and set up ScanSnap Home, install the Neat desktop application, and configure both so that they're connected and so that you can accomplish scanning the same way that I showed you today. It would be the exact same experience. Just like, Ricoh has a variety of support options, so does Neat. You can access all of your support resources just by going to the bottom left-hand corner of Neat, where you can start a chat, you can open up an email case, or you can even schedule a support call if you have a VIP support plan. So you can click Help and Support here and access all of our help materials here, or you can go directly to support.neat.com and open a case there. So there were one or two questions that I saw. I saw someone had asked about, security with Neat. That's definitely something that I wanted to answer because we take your data security very seriously. Yeah, we're a data, a document organization solution. So you're uploading data to our site. Neat ensures that your data is secure with several robust features, including, bank level security encryption for both stored and transmitted data. We also have our systems where our data is contained are monitored 24/7. They're hosted in leading data centers with strict access controls. Neat is backed up to ensure a 99.9% uptime, meaning our site is extremely rarely ever down for any reason. And, our systems are also regularly audited and penetration tested. And we also support multi-factor authentication login. So if you want an added layer of security, you can enable multi-factor authentication from your user profile setting. So if that's something you're interested in, you can click on your name up here and choose user profile, and then enable multi-factor authentication for an added layer of security. So I wanted to address that. The other question that I saw was there were a couple of people who were asking about why my file was taking so long to process. That processing times vary from throughout the day depending on peak hours, but mostly the reason you didn't see it seemed to be stuck processing was because I just needed to refresh my Neat desktop application. It had finished processing in the background. It just didn't update in the foreground. So it's here, it's sitting here. This is the file that I uploaded earlier. This is the 3-page document that I combined together. It did finish, it just, it didn't appear to from the application that I was showing. So just wanted to clarify that. Scott, were there any other questions that you saw in chat that you definitely wanted to answer now?
Yeah, I think one that I saw was about Mac OS support. So the current version of Mac OS is 15.6. We support that with our ScanSnap models. OS 26 is coming out soon. And when that's officially the new OS, we will have support for it. So I think we are testing the beta version right now, and there are some nuances with the beta version. But as it becomes official, we'll have full support for that. If you're using the beta version, you can still call into support, and we've got Mac experts that you can talk to.
Awesome. Love that. I do see a question that just came in from Stan. Stan asked a really great question. How much is Neat? So Stan, to answer your question, our Neat base plan is $200 per year. So that base plan gets you basically all of the features that I showed you today. So you get the documents, unlimited document storage and organization. You get a Neat mobile application, the Neat desktop application, an email forwarding address, all of these tools here. There were other things that I didn't share as well. There is a very, we have all of these reports here as well that you can run. You can do expense reporting, spending reporting, tax reporting, all from within Neat. You can export your data to CSV files and other applications as well. So, if you are, Neat supports exporting to CSV, so you can export files to CSV and then import them to places like TurboTax or to Google Drive or Excel or, other applications that you might have. You can also export files to PDF, so you can export your images out. So there's a variety of things that you can do here with just the Neat base plan. So I hope that answers your question. I also saw a question about, I see Kong says, will multi-factor authentication be allowed to work on my phone instead of on my email account? So just to clarify, what Kong is asking is, right now, our multi-factor authentication is delivered through email only. However, Kong, in the future, yes, we are going to roll out text, MFA to text, so you can get a texted code, or MFA with Authenticator app instead, where you can add Neat as an app to an Authenticator app instead. All right, so I'm seeing the questions slow down now. So I think, Scott, let me ask, any other questions that you wanted to answer?
I saw one about scanning a 100-page magazine in full color duplex. So the new iX2500 is 45 pages per minute, and we do have hardware-assisted compression inside the scanner. However, for magazine pages, it's going to depend on what mode you're using. If you're going at the full 600 DPI, the scanner will scan slower, but compared to other scanners in its class, it's lightning fast. It's also going to depend on your compression.
Thank you, Scott. Wow, that's a big file to be scanning in. I see here a question from Alan. Alan asks, did you say that PNF docs can be imported to Neat? So Richard, Neat can import, you can import or scan PDF files, JPEGs, TIFF files, PNG files, or BMP files, these specific file types here. So I hope that answers your question. A couple other quick questions that I saw here. Cal Raquel asked whether or not Neat only works on receipts. Raquel, Neat works on any file really, that any document that you can upload. So these are the different file types that Neat supports specifically, but you could upload, you could even upload pictures really here if you wanted to, but we have receipts, bills, contacts, documents, invoices, statements, checks, and even recipes as well. And each of these different item types has its own like file fields and functions. So like a receipt will have details about your vendor and your amounts and your tax categories, versus a recipe item, which will have things for your ingredients and bake time and things like that. Let's answer one last question, Scott. I see one from Rona here. Oh, perfect, you answered it. The new scanner is Rona asked whether how much the scanner was, and Scott let us know it's $449. Is that correct, Scott?
Yes, for both the black or the white model. There was a question I remembered from earlier about the premium model that adds another 2 years of support. All of the iX2500 comes with a 1-year warranty, and the premium model adds another 2 years.
Awesome.
It's available now.
Very, very cool. I think that's a kind of a perfect maybe question to end it on, since, you know, we talked all about the iX2500. Now you know exactly how you can use it to scan things neat, you know, how much it costs, and where you can go to get it. For anybody who's still here, who's asked a question that maybe they haven't gotten a full answer to yet, or they're not sure if it was answered yet, don't worry. We're going to export this list of questions, and we're going to follow up with anybody who didn't get an answer. So you guys will receive an email either from Scott and team, or from the Neat Success team here, George, Melissa, or Tia, within the next 24 to 48 hours, you know, with an answer, or maybe an email to further clarify whatever question you might have. So don't worry, we will follow up with everybody and make sure everybody's questions were answered today. But I think that is it. We've shared all of the handouts to make sure you get that. But yeah, I just want to say, Scott, thank you so much for joining me today and going through all of this stuff and demonstrating all of, you know, how the iX2500 works. I appreciate your time.
Nicole, thanks again for having me on today's webcast. And I just wanted to say thank you to your support team. They are awesome. And just thank you to all the attendees today, all of your energy, all of your questions. This is great. Look forward to talking to many of you, and looking forward to coming back and doing this again. This was great.
Absolutely. I'm 100% looking forward to it. I agree. You guys are a great audience. I was distracted the whole time going back and forth, looking through all of the questions that you guys have. You guys have really, really great questions. Definitely something I'm going to try to answer in our next form of our webinar. But I appreciate you, Scott. I appreciate Chase and team, and our attendees. Thank you guys so much. And we'll be talking soon.
Have a great day.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.